Hey all, welcome back to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And as you can see, we're not at our normal capacity here. I got Trenton usually right here. He's usually right here, but unfortunately today the poor guy, the poor fellow, he's sick.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too good.
No, he's not. He needs his mother's attention. You know, that kind of love doesn't come from me, but you know, he needs his mother and Michelle to kind of dab his forehead and make sure that he's okay. But he is pretty sick. He texted me this morning actually. And he said, "Hey, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I'm really feeling bad. I can hardly talk for more than 2 minutes in a row. It's probably going to be a show that you're going to have to do by yourself." So I was driving around. I had some things to get done today, and I was trying to think in my head what I can do. And I know this is weird, Trenton. You know me. I get some crazy stuff going through my head. But I started thinking about that guy that has the beard and the pipe or whatever. I think what is it? The Dos Equis beer guy, the most interesting man in the world. Right?
How are you thinking about
I don't know. I can't tell you. I truly, sometimes when I'm driving around, I think of different ideas for the show, videos, just stuff, you know. So I kind of parlayed that into the title of today's show, which I am titling "The Most Interesting Whiskeys in the World." So I want to show you. I try not to stick with 5.
It looks like more than 5.
But there is a few more, and that's a struggle for me to stick with a certain amount. But I want to give you what I would feel are the most interesting whiskeys in my personal collection. As you guys heard me many times behind this camera, to me, what makes a whiskey pour extremely interesting and just delicious is that you can take an ounce or an ounce and a half, sit down in your favorite chair and just sip it for an hour and keep discovering new things about that whiskey. And even when you pour it a different time, you can still continue to pick up beautiful flavors that you didn't pick up the first time. To me, personally, that's what makes a whiskey extremely interesting. And I'm going to give you some examples of that. But first, I want to challenge. We normally don't do this, Trenton. We normally don't. We had to quit challenges a while ago, collaborations with other whiskey YouTubers, only because we got an enormous amount of requests. And I'm just not that guy. I can't tell these group over here, yes, we will do collaborations with you. And I can't tell this group over here, no. I'm just not that guy. I just can't do that. So today, we're going to step outside our box a little bit, primarily because Trenton's not back here, so he can't tell me I can't. So how about that? But I've got a few channels. I'm going to get through them as soon as I can here. I'm going to challenge Josh. First, I'm going to challenge Josh, the drinking buddy. Hey, pal, get ready. You didn't think it was coming. I know you challenged me a few times, and I told you I couldn't, but this is for you. If you want to follow suit on this video, that'd be great. Nate, our good friend at the Everyday Drinker. Hey, what's your most interesting whiskeys in the world? Let's find out. Get on it, Nate. Let's get it done. My good friend Marcus at the Bourbon Judge. No finer people than Marcus and his wife. And honestly, probably the most fun I'd have is if I could ever sit in on a live stream with Marcus and cousin Nita. I tell you that would be a literal hoot. My good friends Phil and Julie at the Bourbon Van had an extremely good time. We met at breakfast when we were in Arizona. My wife and I were in Arizona. We were able to meet them for breakfast, share some time together. I absolutely appreciate their sense of adventure, and I love watching that. But more importantly, I appreciate their relationship and great people. The Bourbon Van. A new friend of mine, Trent, you might not even know. You know Myron? Oh, you know Myron? Myron is at the Bourbon Drop. I love this. He's a great communicator. So Myron, if you're up for it, let's get things moving on that end. And last but not least, my good friend Jordan and his friend Brian, they started a new channel called the Bourbon Drop. Jordan from Seymour. Now you know. Okay. One of our patrons and really good friend. If you guys are up for it, I love to hear all of your lists and check it out and learn from you as well. All right, let's get started, bud, shall we? I know that was a while. I know you don't like long intros, but yeah, you're not behind here. Very first bottle I want to show you today, anything you see, any single cask releases that are out of Glenallachie are absolutely fantastic. We're talking about Scotch whiskey. These are bottled exclusively for Impex Beverages, and what I have in my hand at the moment is a 13-year Glenallachie Scotch whiskey that was matured in Sauternay barrels. I'm just going to say it's, 116 proof? Guys, This is a dessert bottle. It's just got the most lovely, sweet, dessertish type flavors. Something I could sit with for a long time and absolutely enjoy. Fantastic.
I bought one for myself. It was that good.
It's that good.
Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, it's so good, and Trent doesn't even like scotch. I'm going to get through these really quickly because some of these may be hard to find, and at least some you might not be able to find. But Trenton, the rye whiskey that was the most interesting pour I've ever had from a rye whiskey was this Jack Daniel's. This is their 2020 special rye release. Phenomenal. You know, the maple notes, the rye notes. It's just, I can't talk more highly of that particular pour. When it comes to bourbon, this, without question, was the most interesting, deep, lot of depth here, a lot of stuff going on, was this release from Four Roses. This is a limited edition, but this release from Four Roses 2019, just forget about it. It's legit. The sweetness, I think, Trent, for me is more like a sugared pecan or a praline type thing, but there's tobacco in there. There's just, and it's just so well balanced. It's just a wonderful pour. I went through my first bottle. I just got lucky and I got one around the 2019 time frame. And Trenton did his magical work that he does, and he surprised me with another full bottle, so I barely nipped into that one. I'm going to just sip it on occasion. But those three in particular, probably hard time finding. You may not find it, but I had to bring them out there because they were just that great. All right, let's get into some of the things that you might be able to find, and you probably should be able to find. A rye whiskey here, Trenton, I know you love. I love Barrel Seagrass. I love this stuff. Rye whiskey finished in Martinique rum, Madeira, and apricot brandy barrels. Hello. As you can see, I mean, that's probably my third or fourth bottle. When it comes to rye whiskey, you do get a little bit of that rye characteristics, but each individual barrels in that finishing process, you can pick up the notes from, and they are extremely well balanced. You can sit down with a pour of this time after time after time and enjoy it immensely and find new things. I'm going to give you one really quick cocktail that I love to do in spring and summertime with this. I'll take 2 ounces of this, a 1/4 ounce of a pineapple syrup. That's it. Mix it up like an old fashioned. It is a wonderful summer old fashioned. All right, the next one I want to show you. This was our pick. Now, granted, it's our pick, but these Fiddler Georgia Heartwood bottles, you can find these picks around here and there. They're bourbon whiskey refinished with hand-harvested charred oak staves. Dude, that bottle, I think probably Trenton more than any other pick that we did for our patron group, I think we got more response back from this bottle than any other one. It was just fabulous. It's deep, it's dark, it's rich. The barrel char in here is just out of this world. The maple notes in there. This is 100% a pour that you can have and just keep discovering and keep enjoying. Absolutely, the ASW folks hit it out of the park with these Fiddler Georgia Heartwood, and that's one of them that's in my list today. A new bottle. I'm telling you, I don't think, Trent, you've even had anything from Dark Arts. I discovered this thanks to the good folks, Scott, my friend, the manager at Trevor's down there in Arizona, and our meet and greet showed me this. And then when I got this bottle home, Eric, who we were staying with in Arizona, one of our patrons, he had one too. This one here, this is Dark Arts. I'm a little bit unfamiliar with this. I want to do the best I can. Dark Arts Whiskey House. There's two gentlemen that started this company, Macaulay and David. Macaulay was the overseer in the single barrel program over at Wilderness Trail. When Campari bought them out, he just said, "Not for me. I'm gonna leave." They ended up starting this particular brand, Trenton. What they're doing is they're sourcing, and I believe the labels say Indiana, so I'm going to assume it's just MGP, but they're sourcing anywhere from 6, 7, and 8 year rye whiskeys and or bourbons, and then finishing them. That's what they're doing. My bottle here I tasted at Trevor's. This one is a 7-year bourbon that was finished in white port barrels. It is 113 proof, and it was about $100. But let me just tell you this is fabulous. But then I got back to our place. We're staying in Arizona, and I tasted Eric's bottle, which was finished in Madeira and toasted casks. Get out of town. His was down here. I almost wanted to trade him the whole bottle. It was just that. Honestly, it was that good. I'm really, really interesting to find out more out of these guys from Whiskey Arts. Fabulous bottle there. Tons of tasting notes. A lot of depth. Very enjoyable. Last but not least, I had to include an American single malt. I had to do it. I'm very jealous, actually, of Josh at his channel, The Drinking Buddy, because he lives in Tucson, which is right next door, right in the same town as Whiskey Del Bach. This one, guys, I love what they're doing at Whiskey Del Bach in the American single malt category. This one is a distiller's cut. I bought it a year or two ago, granted that, but this is their 2021 release. It's 114 proof. This is called their distiller's cut. This is one of their special releases, and they have quite a few different special releases. This one here, it has just an amazing amount of stone fruits. I think it says it in the back here too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here it is. Hang on one second. The palate is an explosion of bright stone fruit baking spice that gives way to a pleasantly long peppery finish of cola and cedar. Yes, yes, and thank you. Yes, I'll have some more. Wonderful, deep, delicious notes in this. And what I like a lot of, and Trenton may or may not be the same as me on this one, but you get all those tasty notes. But what I want to add too is when it gets into the finish, you get the whisper notes of the mesquite that they're famous for, that mesquite note that's still into the finish on this one here. That's a whiskey that, I mean, I've had it for a while. As you can see, I'm trying to be a little bit careful with it, but I can sit with that for an hour or two and just absolutely enjoy it and love it. So that's my list for today. Sorry Trenton couldn't be back here today. I'm really hoping he'll feel a little bit better for Wednesday's video. You'll be all right, Trenton. You'll be fine.
I'll be good for Wednesday. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I know. I missed you up here, buddy. I do hope you feel better. It's more like family. It's more like home when Trenton's back here. But regardless, that's what we have for you today. Those are my most interesting whiskeys in my collection, and I'm very curious to hear about yours if you want to leave in the comments and the other folks that I mentioned earlier. So other than that, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic week. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time right down here with Lise, me, and hopefully Trenton in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.
Mm-hmm.